what's going on, everybody? I'm here kind of making a 1 year, essentially an update review of this car, which is a 2015 WRX, in case you don't know. I kind of want to do this because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there possibly buying 15s or buying 16s now. They kind of want to know what it's like to own this car for a whole year. I mean, we all see the initial reviews that come out whenever a car comes out, talking about everything, but they don't get to sit in it for, I've got 18,306 miles right now in about a year and 2 months. And from all that experience in this car, I can really dive into some of the things that might annoy me, but also the good things as well that you might not realize. So I just want to kind of make this and talk about everything that I've experienced so far in this year and 2 months. And it may sound a little negative because I really just want to nitpick the things that annoy me so that people know what to expect. But in all honesty, if I can go back again, this is the exact car I would buy again, because for the price, I don't see a whole lot more that I would want in a car currently what's in the market right now. So I'm just going to go through everything and kind of talk about the negatives and the positives. So let's start with the negatives here, and the first one is something that I knew about since day one, but I didn't care because I like the car that much, and that is the wheels. First off, I wish there were 18s. I think 18s is a perfect fit for this car. There's 17s. But the worst part is the styling. I mean, it looks like they were like in a dumpster fire or something, the color, and I don't like the spokes, I don't like the color, I don't like any of that. But my whole goal initially, and still is, once I have a little more money, is to get a nice set of 18-inch, probably a little wider summer wheels and tires. And then I'm going to save these for my winter tires. I already have a set of 17-inch winter wheels, or winter tires, so I'll put those on as well. So it's something that I knew from the beginning, but I knew I would eventually just have them be my winter go-to wheels. So that is something that is changed with the 16 though. If you get higher than a base, you get the Premier Limited, you get some, I think, some very nice 18-inch wheels. So that's something that I don't like, but at least in the newer cars you can change. The next thing is the wind noise in this car, and oh my god, the wind noise. It is so loud, the interior of this car, especially at higher speeds. I mean, I remember in the reviews them talking about this, but I didn't care because I didn't think it'd be that bad. I never owned a luxury car or anything very nice, so I figured I'd be used to it. All my other cheap cars that I've owned would have a lot of wind noise as well. So there is obviously a Bluetooth speaker in here. We can call people and stuff, and I currently have a new exhaust in this car, but even with the stock exhaust, going anything above 30 miles an hour, everybody I talked to on the phone, probably 3 or 4 people, said that they could not hear me. All they heard was like wind noise or just other noise if I was going above 30 miles per hour. And I was able to go into the settings and turn up the mic and turn down the mic to see if it cancels out wind noise, and it didn't matter. It just doesn't, the Bluetooth speaker can't get through to the other person with all the background noise going on. And on the highway, you hear a lot of noise, and when I had my winter tires on as well, it was even noisier. So that's something, I mean, it's a Subaru, it's not a Lexus, it's not a BMW, it's nothing like that. So you can't expect a whole lot, but just so you know, if you really want a quiet ride and something comfortable, but I don't know if you would expect that from a Subaru WRX, but if you do, this is not the car for you. The next thing are the rattles, and the rattles aren't as bad as they used to be. They used to be somewhat constant, especially with louder music playing, but it's really seemed to tone down a lot where I don't even hear them anymore. I don't think there's many. There were a couple, like one in this arm section over here and one in, I think, that corner speaker when the music was a little louder, but I don't hear them that much anymore. I'm not sure if the plastic kind of finally settled in and you don't have those anymore, but again, like I said before, this is a Subaru. You kind of have to expect some of that. It's not a luxury car, but it really has toned down recently, which is good. But just remember, there are probably going to be rattles if you buy this car. The next thing is the speaker system in this car, which I have the upgraded audio, so I have the Harman Kardon audio. And I did a comparison video, which I can put below, between this and my friend who has a WRX, and he has the base audio system. Now, initially, I think in that video I said didn't hear a big difference, but I hear it more now. There is a lot more difference, and this is a lot better system than the stock audio system. However, I forget what system it was, but in my old car, I had an upgraded audio system as well, and I thought that one was better than this one. I think this one's still good, but I think it could be better, and my old car was just a Nissan Sentra, and I think that audio system was better. So just remember, if you get the base audio, it's probably not going to be that good, But the upgraded audio is, I think, enough. For 95% of people, sounds good enough. Continuing with the audio is the infotainment system. So since I've upgraded audio, I do get the upgraded infotainment system, which gives me the navigation. And it's, it's really kind of a cheap, older model head unit. There's nothing really special about it. It doesn't stand out good or bad. It's very average. The GPS is very average. The buttons, everything going on there is very average. I can't speak as much in the base car, how much that is, and I know for the 16s, everything got upgraded to Starlink. So you either have a regular Starlink with no navigation or Starlink with navigation. And I can't speak to those too much either, but I have been in one of the newer Legacies and fiddled around with it a little bit, and it is better than the head unit I have now. So that's all I can really say about that, but again, I don't think we were expecting a whole lot from the infotainment system from Subaru in the first place. And now the last gripe I have with this car, which is probably my biggest gripe, are the seats. Now, in a sport way of holding you in laterally, holding you in during corners, they are pretty good. I have a little bit of a wider back, but I fit in these very nice, very snug, and I like the lateral support. The bolsters, I think, are a good size for the car. And that's what I think most people focus on in their reviews, is how good the seats are in a sport, I guess, sense of it. However, as you can tell, I have 18,000+ miles on this car right now, and that's in just over a year. I drive a lot, and I do a lot of long distance driving for work. I've taken many road trips, 5-6 hours long, and these seats fatigue the hell out of me. They have absolutely no lumbar support. It's basically straight up and down, and I'm constantly trying to move around and shift my back and shift my weight every time I'm in the whole road trip of a car. So if you drive this a lot, it is something you will have to deal with. If on short trips, anything under half hour, 45 minutes, it's fine. I don't get fatigued by them. But those long trips, I really, really do, and my back hurts from it. I've noticed, by all this fiddling around I've been doing with it, I've noticed that if you really do sit straight up, so have good posture, which I know I don't have good posture, and a lot of people don't have good posture, but the straighter you sit up with this, in this seat, the more comfortable it is, especially for those long distance road trips. So that is by far my biggest gripe, because they are fine I've done some trips with some Subaru people going on windy roads, and they hold you in very well. They're very good from a sport sense of it, but from a, I guess you can say, luxury, from a comfortable sense of it for daily road trips, these seats just aren't good. They're just not good, and they don't have much support. And my friend as well, he actually, when he goes on road trips with his girlfriend, she has a Corolla, they'll take her Corolla, he said, because his seats are just so uncomfortable and it hurts his back so much that they'll take her car. So seats is definitely, I think, my biggest gripe I have with this car so far. Alright, so on to the good of the car, and that is basically everything else. So like I said in the beginning, for the money, if you took this car from me and gave me exactly what I paid for it, and said go buy any car you want, I would buy this again, without a doubt. Oh look, WRX. So as I was saying, everything else about this car I pretty much love. The power is great, power delivery is great. The twin scroll turbo really gets on that boost so early, like at 2,000 RPMs, you can really feel that boost kick in. And I forget exactly what the torque curve is of this car, but I know boost comes on very, very early, and peak torque is very early as well. I had the short throw shifter. I haven't really driven the regular car. I drove it once for like a mile without the short throw shifter, and I love the short throw shifter. Definitely a worthy upgrade to get in the car. Also, the stock exhaust, which I had for a year. About a month and a half ago, I believe, I upgraded to a nameless performance axle back exhaust. And I love the new exhaust, but the stock one was much better than I expected. I thought it would be pretty quiet, and it still had very good throatiness to it, and it was just loud enough where you would hear it enough, but the noise was completely gone at normal cruising. last thing I want to talk about with this car is the gas mileage, which I know is so boring, and who cares about that? But if you are going to own this car, you want to save as much money as you can to spend on car parts, of course. So why not get good gas mileage? Well, this car exceeded my expectations by far when it comes to gas mileage. So I do many road trips, like I said. In normal daily city driving, you know, I get 22, 23, which I think is pretty good for just normal daily non-highway driving. Now on the highway, I consistently get about 33 miles per gallon on all of my road trips, and I'm usually going around 75 on average the entire way, consistently. Well, I think about 2 weeks ago, I went on about a 1 hour trip with my girlfriend, and it was like those back roads that weren't that windy, and they were just those empty back roads. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. There's no one ever on them. The speed limit was like 45 or 50, and I was basically set the cruise at 55 and just said forget it, and I just cruised the whole way there at 55. Didn't hit any traffic. The car basically never stopped. It was at 55 the entire way, and I took this picture because I got 40 miles per gallon on that trip, that 1 hour trip. And that is how fuel efficient this car can be if you want to hypermile it or do anything like that. I'm consistently getting 33, like I said, on all these long trips on the highways going 70, 75 miles an hour. And when you go something like 55, I got 40 miles per gallon with no traffic. So this car really has exceeded my expectations in that sense, and just in all senses. I've never owned a sports car. This is my first sports car, and it's just awesome. I love almost everything about it except the gripes that I just mentioned in this video. I hope this gives you guys a better sense of the good and bad of this car. And again, I would pick this car again for sure for the same money right now. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew of all the gripes of the car, because you can't get rid of that smile in this car. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helps. And let me know, any of you guys that already own this car, anything else I missed, good or bad. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.